Welcome back, my podcasters. Welcome to Life Unfiltered with Joe, with your host, Joe, which is me. So today is episode 4, which means we have been on here for an entire month. Now, I wish you guys knew my frustration about being able to record today because I am not a tech-savvy person, and going through all the hoops of learning how to edit videos, what formats you need, what type of editors you need, extracting the audio, uploading it to podcasts versus YouTube, other things, your microphone, this, that, the other, has been such a headache for me that I've been just really frustrated. So I'm winging it, and I hope you guys will just continue to tune in with me and learn with me and grow with me as I try this new process of this new community, this new world that I'm not aware of how everything works. So here we are with episode 4. Now today I'm going to go into an episode called Healing is Not Linear. So if you listen to my last couple episodes, they've been kind of about how I've struggled or the things that I've had to conquer or things that I've went through. And I want to tell you guys about how I have grown as a person, how I evolved as a person, how I've bettered myself as a person, how I got there, and what that process looked like for me. And I wanted to label it Healing is Not Linear because although you can heal and although you can grow, you are always going to have setbacks. You're always going to have off days. You're always going to be down. And when you're down, right, this linear line goes down. But then when you get better and you grow again, it shoots right back up. So healing is not linear. And that's why I wanted to name this episode that. Now, I don't know if this visual will go on YouTube. I've been having the biggest struggle with that. So I am recording visually today off my camera and audio. So hopefully it makes it to YouTube. If not, I apologize, but you have the audio. I will get it figured out someday. I promise you guys. So before we get in to this episode, of course, we need to have that intro beat to get yourselves hyped up, start vibing, and ready to talk. And we're back. So before we begin, you know I always do a little bit of housekeeping on an Amazon product that I bought and love. Again, I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you like this product that I'm about to review, go ahead and buy it below. There's a link that you can click on, add it to your cart, and you're good to go. If not, I do appreciate if you continue to click on that link and buy other products just to help me out, help me know you support me. And again, these commissions are very, very small. Actually, sometimes I wonder if it's pointless because they're so small, but if I can get enough help from people, then hopefully I can make an impact on my student loans. So if you're watching the visual today, I have a stand behind me, and it's like a laptop stand. So I'm going to read it to you guys off of Amazon, and it's called the Yagoat. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's a file holder stand. I used to keep everything on my table, like my planner, I have like a notepad. I have 2 notepads actually, folders, and it would just clutter my table, and I hated it. I just hate clutter. I hate the way it looks. So I was like, what can I get to hold my laptop, to hold my 2 notebooks, to hold this, that, whatever I wanted, folders. And I was like, duh, a folder stand. So I got into Amazon. I found a black one because, as you guys can see, if you're watching the visual, my decor is all black. Now, this is running for only $14.97, which I thought was pretty cheap. And it also comes in gold, rose gold, and white if you do not like black. But that's the little product I have for you today to help support me. Now, let's get into Healing is Not Linear. So this is supposed to be a self-development, self-healing podcast. And I wanted to talk about how did I heal from an eating disorder. So in the eating disorder podcast, you found out that a lot of things changed when I became pregnant. However, you can't just change your mind all of a sudden. You can't just turn off these thoughts. You can't just, oh, I'm good to go. You have to work through these traumas, work through these triggers. So I wanted to talk to you, like, how did I do that? How did I heal from this negative mindset? And what that began with was, first of all, if you're having issues with your body, I would recommend like getting rid of your weight scale. So the scale is a number, and that number could be different every single day. It can be different multiple times a day. It's hardly ever 100% accurate. So you have like how much sleep you got, how much water weight you're holding. If you just went on vacation, you have all these factors. If you're a female, like your period, that doesn't make that number very accurate. And that number can really destroy your mind. So to begin my healing process, I got rid of my weight scale, and it wasn't enough. So what did this mean? Well, as you guys have also heard in my podcast, I did a lot of mirror checks. I would analyze my body. So during this period of my life of healing, I actually decided to take action, and I hung up a sheet over all my mirrors. So I was only allowed to use the mirror if I was washing my face, brushing my teeth, doing my makeup, something like that. But I was not allowed to go in front of the mirror to critique myself. I wasn't allowed to check out my outfit in a body mirror. And I put these barriers in place to help my mindset change. Now that may seem a little extreme, but you have to do what you have to do to better yourself. So I went, there was a period in my life where I had sheets over all my mirrors, and that's how I stopped myself from analyzing my body. So then, after I decided it was time to take down these sheets, that was me moving into the next phase, into the next step, healing, right? I'm taking my linear line, it's going up. All right, we're going great. So after the sheets were off the mirror, I consciously made this decision that if I were to look in the mirror, even if I feel negatively about myself, I am to force myself to speak out loud positive things. So kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever seen that analogy where it's like two plants. I don't even know if it's called an analogy. Anyways, you have two plants in separate rooms. One plant you speak to negatively, one plant you speak to positively. And the plant that was spoken to negatively withered away, and it eventually died. And the plant that you spoke to positively, it grew, it flourished. And that's the same with you. That's the same with your mind and your body. You need to be positive towards yourself in order to grow, in order to change your mind. So what I would do is I took down the sheets, and I didn't think positively about myself. But guess what? I still stood in front of the mirror, and whether I believed it or not, I spoke out loud to myself, and I said, "You are beautiful. I love you, body. Thank you, body. Thank you for carrying me. Thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for being so beautiful. You look so good today." And I said those things even when I didn't believe them. And eventually, after some time, I stood in front of the mirror, and I would be like, "Damn, you look good today." And it would come naturally. And I started to actually believe that because of habit. And I taught my mind how to be positive about myself, how to respect my body, how to treat my body. And my body responded. And I found it very, very interesting that after I started speaking positively to myself, my body started responding to me so much better. So for example, when I was being negative to my body, when I was disrespecting it, when I was talking down on myself, when I was critiquing myself, I found that my body would hold on to weight. It would not look as good or whatever that was. And when I started speaking positively to it, I started getting better in the gym. I started having more confidence. I actually started to lose weight. Like the weight I wanted to lose previously that I couldn't, it started melting away because my body was filled with these positive affirmations that it was happy. And it was happy enough to let that weight go And I found that so interesting that these positive affirmations that you can speak to yourself, even if you don't believe them, your body, your mind is hearing it, and it will positively respond to you. And I love that. And so after that, I started saying things, thank your body, I respect you body, I love you body. That was like my saying. And so thank your body, I respect you body, I love you body. And today also during this podcast, I gave you that little quote, but also I want to give you guys other nuggets. Now I call them nuggets because it's kind of like a grain of salt. It's something that you can take with you, and you can use this nugget wherever you need in life to help you out in that situation. And during my healing process, I've had many people help me, and they've given me these little nuggets to carry around in my pocket. I mean, actually my mind, you know what I mean? And if I felt the need to use one of these, I would pull it out of my mind, say it out loud, and it would get me through that moment. So my goal here today is give you these little tokens, if you will, to keep in your mind, keep them in a file, be able to pull those out whenever you're feeling negative or whenever you feel like you need this positive affirmation. So the first one that I wanted to give you guys is, I got this from Lynette Marie. Now, she used to be a different fitness coach of mine. She actually has another podcast called Balance and Thrive, if you guys want to check that out. But she was training me, and this was again during my healing process, right? So I was healing. Bam, I'm having a setback. Healing is not linear. So I messaged her, I don't understand what's wrong. I'm not getting my workouts in, this, that, the other. And the words she said to me have been a nugget that I've carried with me forever. And that quote is, "You are human, not a machine." And that really hit me because I was treating my body as if I was a machine that was designed to operate 24/7 perfectly and not mess up. And we have this technology that's so I can't even think of the word, but we have this technology that's made to run every single day to make mass productions of things, and your body is not built like that. You are human, not a machine. So if you think about it, you have these machines that are built to make mass products of, I don't know, a cup or something. Well, guess what? Your body might only give you 1 cup a day or whatever that is. It's not meant to mass produce. It's not meant to be perfect. It's not meant to check mark every box. You are human. So now whenever I have a setback or I'm frustrated in something, I'm like, you know what? I'm human. I'm not a machine. And humans have feelings. Humans have setbacks. Humans have things come up in their lives that they have to navigate around. So today I want you to know that you are human, not a machine. Now, going into another little quote or little token I have for you is, I want you, if you're struggling with your body, to look in the mirror. And I'm reading this off my phone because I posted this on my Instagram a really long time ago. And the quote goes like this. I want you to look in the mirror and say, "Body, I want to be your friend." And then your body responds in a deep breath in relief and says, "I've been waiting my entire life for this." And your body is going to take a deep breath in relief because you're speaking positively to it. You're speaking uplifting things to it. You're saying, I want to be your friend today. I don't want to be your enemy. And so, again, whenever I'm having a bad day, in order to grow, in order to keep growing, in order to better myself, I look in the mirror and I tell my body, I said, "Body, I want to be your friend." And that's so relieving to me. And I can feel my body just respond in a way that it's never responded before. And it's so uplifting and so relieving. It's like a weight off of your shoulders. So that's another little quote I want to give you today. So moving on from body image, I want to talk to you guys about healing mentally, growing as a person, what that looked like for me and how I did that. So back in like middle school, early high school, I was considered like a hothead. Like people, I learned this later in life. People did not want to start a conversation with me or say something wrong about me because I was very, very quick to go off on them. I was kind of like that person that you had to walk on eggshells around. And at the time, I just thought that was me, just being this strong person and me not letting anyone fuck with me and whatever, just building up this hard wall. But later, as I realized that people were almost afraid to start conversations with me or afraid to start a friendship with me because they didn't want to like set me off, tick me off, make me explode, I realized like I don't want to be that person. I can be someone who stands up for myself, but I can also be respectful. I can also be humble. I can also be considerate of your side. And I had to take this mindset change. I needed to shift it to better myself, to better my life, to better my friendships, my relationships with my family, everything. So how I began that process is I started going to counseling. And so cliche, everyone's like, go to counseling, go to counseling, go to counseling, right? It's kind of annoying. But truly, like, if you find a counselor that will help you, it can change your life. And so during this counseling, she told me, like, you need to take a second to respond. And at first, that was really, really hard. I noticed I was just in a conversation and responding very quickly. And what was happening was I actually wasn't responding, I was reacting. I was reacting to whatever they said, whatever a person did. And I wanted to take that reaction and I wanted to turn it into a thoughtful response. So in order to take this change into my life out of this counseling session and apply it to my life would be kind of these awkward pauses of silence that happened for a little bit, but it helped. So what I mean by that is if I was talking to somebody, I would actually pause and think about in my head, okay, how am I feeling? How can I react versus how can I respond? And then I can speak it out. And taking this pausing moment, even though it could have been silly to some others, like why is she taking a minute to reply to me? It might have been silly to them, but I know in the end they would have appreciated it a lot more if I would have reacted to them. So I would suggest to anyone out there who is having problems with reacting versus responding is after you get into a conversation with someone, take a minute, process what's going on inside your head, process why you want to react, and process how you want to respond. So you can have this time to actually respond properly and respectfully versus like a person that a bomb just went off, right? So that's kind of how I changed my communication with people. And once I started doing that for a long time, I realized I could start having harder and harder conversations with people because I was used to processing what was going on in my head and responding respectfully. So I was able to have harder conversations with my siblings, have harder conversations with friends, and have them be productive versus counterproductive. And another thing that counseling has taught me was in the past, I was very, very codependent. So what does this mean? This means that I used to be the person that if I was in a friendship with someone, a relationship with someone, whatever relationship is, like mother-daughter, friendship, significant other, whatever, I was so codependent that if they were upset, I felt like I was upset. Or if they were having a bad day, well, dang, you're having a bad day, so I have to have a bad day. I was very codependent. If they didn't want to do something, well, dang, now I have to go in bed and sleep all day because I can't do anything. So I was depending on their actions to base off how my actions were. And it took me a long time to be able to change this format in myself because I had to learn how to be alone. And what I mean by that is if my friend didn't want to do something, or my mom was in a bad mood, or I got in a fight with a significant other, I had to learn, okay, those are their emotions. Those are their actions. What are Joe's actions going to be? What do I want to do? just because they're having a bad day or they're reacting differently does not mean I need to follow suit. And it was a very lonely process because if I decided to have a good day when someone around me was having a bad day, that means I was having a good day alone. And that means I had to go do things alone. And that was really hard for me. But forcing yourself to be alone and to grow in those areas is going to break that codependency habit. Now, another way how I helped this was my counselor told me that in those situations, I need to ask myself, or you need to ask yourself, what's going to make me happy in this moment? Let's say you just got in a fight with someone and your codependent action would be, well, they're having an awful day. I have to have an awful day now too. But let's break that habit, and let's say you got in this fight or whatever it is. Ask yourself, what can I do right now that's going to make me happy? Is that going out to eat, even if it's by yourself because the other person doesn't want to go anymore? Is that going out to the movies, even if that's by yourself because the other person doesn't want to go anymore? Is that going shopping, even if that's by yourself? So whatever that is, ask yourself, what's going to make me happy in this moment? And go do it. Go do it. Because your happiness is what you're working on, and your independence is what you're working on. It's not being codependent on them. So again, this was a very lonely process, but in the end, it's helped me tremendously. Now I actually get people telling me a lot, like, you do a lot of things alone. Like, why are you doing everything alone all the time? Well, it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? You can't always be on one side of the spectrum of the other, but I've learned to just go do things myself if that's what makes me happy. I'm not going to wait around and be codependent on other people to do them with me. And that's freedom, because that means I can do whatever I want that makes me happy, because I'm not relying on anybody else. So take that little nugget with you. Ask yourself, what can I do right now that's going to make me happy, and break those bad habits? So another thing that I want to go into is people were able to see this in me. So I remember one time I was out to eat, and this person that I went to school with, she knew me previously when I was a hothead, I was a bomb ready to go off, and she knew me afterwards, and the person I am now, the person I have evolved into, the person I grew into. And so she got to see both sides of me. And I was out to eat at a restaurant, and she came up to me and she said, I just want to let you know that you are so peaceful. Like, I can feel at peace around you. I can feel just peaceful vibes coming off of you, and you're so calm. And that was such an eye-opener to me. Like, wow, like, I really am changing. Like, I really am making myself into a better person. And to hear someone who previously looked at me in a different way come and tell me that they can feel the peace coming off of me was so rewarding. And that compliment has always stuck with me and has always pushed me to continue to better myself, because other people are going to be able to feel your vibes. Other people are going to be able to feel that energy. So just know that if you work on yourself, the people that matter are going to notice that good difference in you. So another nugget I want to move into is, let's say you're healing, right? We're going linear, and boom, you have a bad day. Now, you might think this is a setback, but setbacks aren't always bad. And what I mean by that is, this one time I had a mentor, I had this setback, I was a hot mess, I was crying, I was just off the walls emotionally, and she looked at me and she said, I'm happy you're hurting. And I stood there like, why are you happy I'm hurting? Like, who says that to somebody? But then the words that followed really stuck with me always. So I want to tell you guys this. If you're hurting, I'm happy you're hurting. Why? Because if you're hurting, that means that you have not hardened your heart. You have not built up a wall on those emotions. You have not turned to anger. You have not turned to pushing emotions down. You're allowing yourself to feel your emotions. You're allowing yourself to process those emotions. So I'm happy you're hurting because you have not hardened your heart. And that alone was so rewarding to me. And I hope it's rewarding for you to hear, because you should be proud. You should be proud that you are feeling these emotions and that you are able to feel. Like, feeling your feelings is so, it's not, I don't even know how to put this. Like, not everyone can experience that. Not everyone has that ability to feel their feelings. And so if you are able to feel your feelings, be happy that you're hurting and feeling those feelings. And talk to your body positively. Like I mentioned, tell your body, hey, I hear you. I hear that you're hurting. I hear that you're feeling this way. And your feelings are valid. And I talk to myself that way so I can help process these emotions and then continue to get up on my linear line of healing. So take that nugget with you as well. Be happy you're hurting, because that means that you haven't hardened your heart. Now, what is another thing that I did to help my healing process? Well, after all this, the conversation I just had with you, the past 23 minutes that you've listened to, it got me a long way, but it only got me so far. And the next journey was people's opinions on me, people's thoughts on me, and being able to be myself and not worry about others' opinions. So I think it was around 2018, 2019, I think, I made this New Year's resolution. And what that was in this year, I decided to not make any decision that does not make Joe happy. So if you're turning that onto yourself, this coming up year, do not make any decision that does not make you happy. Now, there are some things that may not make you happy, right? Some people don't want to go to the gym, but they want the results, but you have to push through that. Or you have to do your homework to get a good grade, even though doing your homework may not make you happy. But I'm talking about other decisions. So let's say you want to wear this outfit out to the grocery store, but this outfit might offend other people. Well, other people's opinions don't matter. If wearing that outfit is going to make you happy, then wear that fucking outfit and make yourself fucking happy, because that's what matters. And as you guys have listened to my intro episode of this podcast, it was, I think it's healthy to have other opinions and not have to be enemies. So guess what? Even if that outfit doesn't do your friend any good, or they don't like the way you're dressing, well, guess what? We can have opposite opinions and we can still be friends, but this outfit makes me happy, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to wear it. So I want to encourage you guys is don't make any decisions if they do not make you happy. And don't let society hold you back, because you're not living for society. You're living for yourself. So when I started to do this, I would literally get up, and if I had, let's say I had to make two decisions. Okay, today I said, do I want to get some housework done, or do I want to record a podcast? And does my housework need done? Yes, absolutely it does. But I have time to do that later. I truly do. So I'm going to make the decision right now to do what makes me happy, and that is to record a podcast. And when I first started this motto or this way of living, I would wake up every single day, look at my options in front of me, and say, well, this decision, I was supposed to go do this today, but I really don't want to, and I really don't have to. So scratch that off my list, because if I really don't have to do it, and I really didn't really want to in the first place, and I was doing it for, I don't know, whatever reason, if it didn't make me happy, scratch that off. Sorry, that decision doesn't make me happy, so I'm not doing it. And during this process, I started becoming a happier and happier person. Now, this can sound a little bit selfish, right? Like, oh, you're only doing things that make you happy. You're only worried about yourself. But there's a period in time in your life where you are pouring out to so many cups that your cup is empty. And that's so cliche, but it's so true. So there's a period in your life where you have to say, listen, I'm empty and I need to re-energize myself and I need to make myself happy so then I can continue to give out to my friendships or whatever that is. So I encourage you guys to take a deep dive into your life, into your mind, into your soul, and look at your life and say, what's not making me happy? And what can I cut out to make my choices better, to make me happier? But now, today, after I went through this entire process, I'm still not done. I'm still working on myself. I'm still growing. But I've came such a long way. And I hope that you guys can just take this little episode of encouragement to see that if I can do it, if a ticking time bomb, aka me, can change and not turn in from, like, take a bomb and put it into a person who doesn't react that way. If I can do that, then so can you. And you don't have to be a ticking time bomb, or you don't have to hate your body, or you don't have to do things that don't make you happy. And I'm here telling you that if I can do it, you can do it too. So take these little nuggets with you today, which is thank your body, respect your body, love your body. You are human, not a machine. Look in front of the mirror. Tell yourself, body, I want to be your friend. And go to counseling. Feel your feelings. And make choices that make you fucking happy. So that is my episode today on Life Unfiltered with Jo. And healing is not linear. And I hope that you guys continue to grow and work on yourself. And I will see you guys next week for episode 5.